All right, guys, this week we're here on Lake Naconiche, just outside of Nacogdoches, Texas. And let me tell you one thing, guys, this is a really small lake, but it's got some giant bass. We're here in the early spring. These fish are starting to pull up on beds and spawn, and I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite times of year to fish. And I'm gonna be looking at them with my eyes and hopefully catching some really big bass. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now.
That is a fish. Oh man, look at this.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at that. Woo!
This is Let's Fish.
This week on Let's Fish TV, we're here on Lake Naconiche. This lake is about 692 surface acres, so it's not a really big lake, but it has some big bass. About 20 minutes outside of Nacogdoches, Texas is where you're gonna find Lake Naconiche. It's in deep East Texas, and it has my three favorite ingredients for a lake. It has grass, it has stumps, and it has big bass. And I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, these fish are getting ready to move up on beds, and that's my favorite time of year to catch these fish. And I know I'm gonna go find some big ones. We'll also have this week's fishing report for your local region from our insider reporters. But hey, I'm gonna get this boat launched, I'm gonna get everything set up, and I'm gonna toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us. These Cylinder tables are predicting fair game fish activity both days this weekend. Look for peak game fish activity to begin at 8:17 on Saturday and 9:11 Sunday morning. Evening action will begin around 8:42 on Saturday and 9:36 on Sunday night. Depending on your area, expect the sun to rise around 7:22 and set around 7:43. This weekend we'll have last quarter moon, that is 36% visible. Stick around, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way, plus Bassmaster elite angler Paul Mueller will be here when we return to answer this week's Ask the Pro question.
All right, guys, we're out here on Lake Naconiche in deep East Texas. That's just right outside of Nacogdoches, Texas. And guys, I have a feeling we're gonna have a good day. You know, the temperatures are starting to climb. We're getting around those fish that are getting ready to spawn. Today, this morning, it was 44 degrees. We're supposed to get up to 60. The water temp's about 52 to 53. I think we're gonna find some on beds today. There's no doubt about it. I can't wait to get out there. Lake Naconiche, guys, it's a special, special place. There we go. There we go. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's a good one. Whoo. Dude, that fish turned and went over there and ate that rage bug. Man. Oh, there we go. Check it out. It's a nice Lake Naconiche bass. We're here in deep East Texas. We're targeting real big bass. So Lake Naconiche is located in deep East Texas, right outside of Nacogdoches, Texas, actually where I went to school, my alma mater, at Stephen F. Austin State University. You know, when I was in school though, this lake didn't exist. You know, the cool thing about this lake, it's got an immense amount to cover. As you can see here, you can see a ton of different stumps and trees and things like that. We're fishing this time right now during the springtime when those bass are up shallow and they're feeding up. You're getting ready to spawn. I got stuck up here, flipped up to that fish, it rolled around, turned, ate it almost immediately. And that is a big key, is paying attention, using your eyes. And that's one key here too. Don't use your eyes just to look for fish, but also use your eyes to look for stumps. You gotta really navigate through this lake extremely slow, because at any given point, you're gonna hit a stump with your boat and you can see it before you hit it a lot of times because the water's fairly clear. But hey, I'm gonna go try to catch me another one because that was a lot of fun.
Man, what a difference a week makes. Last week I was talking about water temps here in the mid-40s in Oklahoma. Now we have them in the mid-50s and moving up above that. The bass are on the move, the bass are biting. More so than where to go right now is what you need to be doing to catch them. Now last week, Charles Jewell shared with us he was having good success at Texoma and Lake Murray, fishing less than 8 foot of water, fishing transition areas in front of spawning type structures on those bodies of water. That's exactly what you need to be doing, and you need to be throwing a moving bait of some kind. Like a Gene LaRue biffle bug and hardhead combination. That is working really well right now. As Charles said, he was targeting transition areas in front of the spawning areas, and that's exactly what you need to be doing to catch them. Now, as Charles also said, the secondary points in some of the bigger creeks are where you can find those fish right now. The smaller lakes, look on the main lake points close to some of the mouths of those little pockets and coves. You can catch them doing that too. Keep that bait moving right off the bottom. Have it touch that bottom on occasion. You can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. That's a big one. Oh, yeah. That's a nice one there. Oh, gosh. Come over that log. There we go. Ooh. Look at the size of that bass, guys. Oh, my gosh. What a nice bass. Oh, my gosh. This is a really big tip, and I promise you, you're going to learn something from him. Let's get this fish back real quick. It ate that ocho like it had never even seen one before. God, man, I can't even get it out. Here we go. Look at the size of that bass, guys. That's a nice Lake Naconiche bass. Let's get it back real quick. There you go, baby. Man, what a fish. Guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, that fish kind of clued me in as to what we're gonna do today. So I picked up this Strike King Ocho, and this is a great bait for covering a lot of water, especially during the spawn, throwing it weightless on just a little 3/0 wide gap hook. But the whole key to this place is, if you look at this place, there's a ton of laydowns, a ton of stumps. There's no way you can physically make a cast to every single tree that's here. So one way that I really like covering water, especially on a lake like Lake Naconiche, is I'll twitch reel it past these laydowns, past these stumps. And if there is a spawning bass, if there is one staged up on one of those pieces of timber, it's gonna come out there and eat that bait, because it's just like twitching a fluke or some type of bait like that. It's really not a whole lot of difference. That fish I saw waking from about 5 feet away, so I knew it was about to get on. And exactly what I thought would happen did happen. It rolled over there, ate it off that piece of that big laydown, and another nice bass in the boat. That was probably close to 4 pounds. And not even on real big gear. You know, one thing about it, a lot of people are gonna say, man, you're fishing around all that, huge giant timber, those big laydowns, you're gonna need 65-pound braid. That's not the case, guys. You can actually get away with 15 to 17-pound fluorocarbon. I'm throwing the Strike King Contra fluorocarbon. It's extremely strong and it gets the job done, especially for nice bass. I just boat flipped that nice 4-pounder. I'm gonna try to get back out there and get me another one on either this Ocho or Rage Bug, because man, they are biting right now.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan or book your fishing charter at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion.
I mean, goodness gracious, I can't wait for y'all to see this fish. Look at how fat this fish is right here. There we go. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, man. It's got that Rage Bug choked another Lake Naconiche big one. I mean, goodness gracious, I can't wait for y'all to see this fish. Look at how fat this fish is right here. Man, oh man. That's another nice Lake Naconiche bass. Let's get this thing back, get it back on that bed real quick. Got him inside the mouth. Golly, what a beautiful, beautiful bass. There we go. Man, what a nice bass here on Naconiche. You know, when I'm bed fishing, I keep it pretty simple. You know, I learned from one of the very best sight fishermen around, and that's Todd Castledine. And he taught me a long time ago that it's not necessarily about the color or anything like that. It's more about the style of the bait. And in this particular case, I'm throwing a Strike King Rage Bug. And I'll talk about that more later. But the thing about the Rage Bug is it's a really compact profile. It has a little bit of movement here on the bottom end. But the big thing that I see a lot of anglers make the mistake of is they are fishing too fast. You know, this is the normal stance for someone fishing for a spawning bass is they'll flip their bait out there, and they'll let it go to the bottom, and I see them go, they start shaking it like crazy. They're shaking it, shaking it, shaking it. And it's one thing if you're fishing for a male bass, and you can tell the difference. A male bass is gonna be more aggressive. They're gonna attack more. They're gonna whip around and eat your bait. But when you're fishing for female bass, you know, the actual spawning bass, the biggest mistake you can make is moving your bait too much. And here on Naconiche, the beds, they're right up next to the stump. So a lot of times when you're fishing through here, you can actually take that same rage bug and flip these stumps and catch those fish that you can't see. So if that's not something that you're good at, you're not good at using your eyes to see those fish on the bed, you can actually use just your bait and flip out in front of you. There's plenty of targets all around you. But the one big thing that I've always noticed is that the guys that fish really fast don't catch the big bass. The spawn is that time of year when you need to let your bait soak, flip it in there, and sometimes just let it sit. Don't move it at all. And that's some of the best days I've ever had, especially this time of year. Right now we're dealing with a cold front. The fish were spawning hardcore last week. I mean, they just made their first push up, and they'll spawn for the next couple of months here. The cool thing is though, is even on these cold front days, it proves to you that you can come out here and catch some really nice fish. And I can promise you guys, this lake, it has them. And I know for a fact, if we get back on this trolling motor and I get to using my Strike King glasses and looking in this water, I'm gonna find me another big one.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here for the Louisiana edition of this week's Let's Fish Report. Tell you what, we're gonna start out on the freshwater side of things. Of course, big fish are moving shallow all over. They're starting to spawn. It's that time of the year. Couple of great reports from Bussy Break. Lots of big bass in the 8 to 12 pound range getting caught, but I tell you what, good time. If you catch one of those big ones, take a picture of it, be careful with her, let her go, let her lay her eggs, do her thing. That way we'll have more big fish to come. Saltwater side of things right here on Calcasieu Lake, I tell you what, redfish been coming mainly on live shrimp in the shallow bayous and marshes. Trout starting to show up on the reefs, some birds starting to work. Soft plastic 1/8 and 1/4 ounce Rockport Rattler jig heads. Also, we're going to be at the Houston Fishing Show while y'all watching this. Come by and see us. We'll talk fishing. We'll book a trip. We'll keep you up to date. For Old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying, let's fish. See you next week and may God bless.
Hi everyone, Captain Greg Verm here bringing you this week's Texas Coastal Fishing Report. Hey, this week's report is brought to you by Fishing Tackle Unlimited. Joe and his team has everything a fisherman needs: saltwater and freshwater tackle, a fly shop, kayaks, apparel, and more. Check out their online store, Fishing Tackle Unlimited, where I get all my fishing gear. Now let's talk fishing and Baffin Bay. Hey, Captain Chris Elliott, hey, he's been catching the specks, slow rolling, soft plastics, and suspended baits along the bottom. Captain Chris says pay very close attention to your electronics and find areas that are a few degrees warmer, and that is where you're going to find your fish. Pro tip of the week: mud bottoms, they warm faster. Now let's move up the coast a bit to my home waters at Galveston. This past week, water temps have risen to the low to mid 60s and the bays are coming alive. The annual spawn for the sheephead is underway along both north and south jetties, and the giant black drum run, hey, it's in full swing. Hey, remember, if you want to fish inshore or offshore, Galveston or Freeport, and remember, red snapper season is around the corner, hey, give me a call, check out our websites, and let's fish.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors, making it easier than ever to gear up and have fun out there. Visit Mississippi, Wanderers welcome. Powerful, total boat control. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders.
Oh my gosh, look at the size of that bass. Man, oh man, I actually didn't think I hit the right spot. actually don't know if I can hit the spot with that. It's, oh, I think it's like between those trees, that stump and that tree. Oh, no, there it goes. Oh, there we go. Oh, what a nice one. Ooh. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that bass. Man, oh man, I actually didn't think I hit the right spot, and that bass proved to me that it was still sitting there. Oh my gosh, man. What another nice bass. Let's get this big joker in the boat. Oh my Lord. What a good one. Naconiche is on fire, guys. You got to get here. If you're in East Texas, this is the place to be. What another great bass that is. Holy cow. Let's get this thing back, get it back on the bed real quick, and we'll talk a little bit about it. There we go. Check that out. God, what a pretty fish. You know, when fishing for these bedding fish, I can't tell you this enough. You know, when I'm bed fishing, when I'm fishing for fish that are up there spawning, most of the time they're around cover. You know, and today they're fishing around these big giant logs and stumps. This is the new Team Lou's signature series rod. This is the Mark Rose jig worm rod. Now, this was a rod model that we've had in our ledge series. This was made for fishing football jigs and things like that. But gosh, guys, this thing is amazing. Texas rigs, football jigs, swim jigs. This is one of the most versatile rods I've ever laid in my hands. A 7-to-5 gear ratio reel, extremely important. You want that quick gear ratio so you can catch up to them and hit them fast, because a lot of times they'll bite it, pick it up, swim a foot, and then drop it. So having that quick gear ratio where you can hit them quick is extremely important as well. But having that heavy action rod, the 7.5-to-1 gear ratio reel, and the 20-pound test will help you land that fish of a lifetime.
Welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, once again brought to you by the good folks at Rapid Reticle, pioneering caliber dedicated BDC reticles. Rapid Reticle gets you on target faster with more accuracy for less money, especially with a 20% off and free shipping code Lone Star. Now this week we've come to Lake Aquila, where the bass are up in the shallows on the beds. You'll want to go past the bridge, up into that heavy timber, and fish those two arms of the lake. Back up in the shallows as far as you can get. Now be very careful. There's lots of timber and not really any boat lanes out here on Aquila. Use your standard bass baits, your Texas rigs, your jigs, your lizards, things like that. And of course you might try a floating lizard over the top, because those will really work in the spring. Now Texas is a huge state, and some of us are just starting to spawn, like Alan Henry up in the Panhandle. You'll find those bass just moving back into the creeks about midway back in the 12 to 14 foot range, moving up on those warmer days. And that recent full moon we just had, that drew a lot of fish in. They're starting to spawn there, so use your pre-spawn baits, things like your traps and Cincos. And of course, it wouldn't hurt to pitch a jig and pig. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Be sure and look us up on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Oh, got him. Oh, there we go. Oh, another nice one. Oh, gosh. Oh, what a way to end the day. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that one, guys. Lake Naconiche is one of those special places in Texas that I feel like is not getting the press that it deserves. Another nice bass pulled off a bed. I'm gonna get this thing back real quick. Golly though, guys. What a tremendous day here in East Texas. Man, guys, we just wrapped up one of those awesome shows here on Naconiche. I haven't been here in a really long time. I mean, it's been pushing 10 years since I've been back to this place. It has such a population of 3 to 4 pound bass right now. And these are the males. I can't even fathom the size of some of these females that are gonna be pushed up here in the next few weeks when you're watching this show. And I'm telling you, you need to get out here now. If you live in this Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas area, get to Naconiche. I'm gonna tell you guys, I had a blast today. This is those kind of days when I go to work, and I work from the front of my boat, but when I go to work and it's a good day. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today. I know I sure did, and I hope y'all catch us on the next one.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose, Feel the Difference, Mamba Boats, Ride with Pride, Strike King, Tie One On, Glacier Glove, stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades, Fishing Specialties, makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right on to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Jordan wants to know, when arriving at a new lake, what are the first things you do to try and find the fish? To get the answer, we checked with Bassmaster Elite Angler Paul Mueller.
Okay, so if I've been to a lake blind, not looking at it on Google Earth or any of that stuff, obviously you want to know the water clarity, how deep the water is. You know, obviously, depending on the part of the country that you're in, you're going to kind of know what kind of forage is going to be in that body of water. And then the structure in the cover is very relevant, as well as the time of year. That's going to dictate where those fish are going to be.
Thank you so much, Paul. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com and follow that Ask the Pro link to submit a question.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
This week for your Academy Right Stuff, I'm going to be talking about the Strike King Contra line. You know, this Contra line comes in 3 different styles: braid, mono, fluorocarbon. Today, I used the 20-pound Contra fluorocarbon, and I never retied one single time. Guys, this stuff is some of the strongest, most affordable fluorocarbon line that you can find, and you can find it right there at academy.com. Guys, this week on Lake Naconiche, I used a 2-prong approach to catch my bass. First and foremost, I absolutely wrecked them on the Strike King Rage Bug. And that's not to be anybody's surprise. If you've watched Let's Fish TV enough, you know that is one of my go-to baits. When fishing those bedding fish, we're using a 7.2 heavy action Signature Series rod. This is a brand new rod from Lew's. I'm going to tell you, it is my favorite rod I've ever used. But you needed that stiffer rod to get those fish away from the cover, because these fish were all spawning around stumps. A 7.5-to-1 gear ratio reel and 20-pound Strike King Contra line completed that combo. I did catch one bonus fish, and when you're out there bed fishing, you need to catch that bonus fish, and today I did just that using one of my favorite baits, and that's a Strike King Ocho. Just weightless rigged 3/0 wide gap hook, 15-pound line. So what I would do is, while I was actually looking for fish with my eyes, I was actually fan casting this Ocho around to try to catch one of those lucky bonus fish, and that's one of those I love to catch, and it was a 4-pounder today. 15-pound line, a 7.2 TP1 Black. This is a really awesome rod. Once again, a 7.5-to-1 gear ratio reel. You needed that quick reel to be able to winch those fish out from those stumps, because there's so many stumps on Lake Naconiche. But those 2 rod and reel combos and baits were definitely what I needed this week on Lake Naconiche. Guys, I hope y'all learned how to find and catch them here on Lake Naconiche. I know I sure had a lot of fun today catching those big largemouth bass. Until next time, I'll see you on the water.